Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about another item that has been in the news lately. Joe Giudice, who is the husband of Teresa Giudice, a star of Real Housewives of New Jersey. One of the reasons they have been in the news is because Joe is currently in prison for fraud, and an immigration court judge signed a deportation order so that he will be sent back to Italy, where he was born, and his wife and daughters are upset about that, naturally. I'm Raluca Hania, an immigration attorney, and I'm here with my office manager, Nina Clear. Keep in mind, I'm not this person's attorney, so I only know the bare minimum facts about this, and I'm trying to be as accurate as I can because this is I'm going to offer you very broad information. And I always recommend that you speak with an immigration attorney if you want to have a good advice in reference to your particular individual facts and circumstances. So please like our video as usual. It's going to help other people to see them. And let's talk about today's topic.
Okay. So tell me again why you wanted to talk about this today.
So I wanted to talk about this today because one is good to address the issues that are in the news about the immigration, and also may be that there are other people that find themselves in this situation, and I'm not talking about being in prison for fraud, but the situation where they were brought here as children and they were thinking all their lives that they are citizens, and so they never applied to become actually citizens. People cannot just assume that they are citizens.
Okay, so is there ever a time that they can assume that they're a citizen?
Sure. I mean, they can assume that they are citizens if they were born in the United States, either here or they were born in a foreign country to U.S. citizen parents, as we were talking in another video. And in that case, they obtain their citizenship, yes, through acquisition. That's how they call it in the immigration law.
Okay. And that seems really simple to me. So either they were born here or they have a U.S. citizen parent.
Well, it seems simple, but the Congress has changed the laws frequently. And as anything immigration, it just seems simple at the beginning. But then when you start looking at each situation and the facts of the case, you might find that it's getting really complicated because the laws are changing a lot, and it matters. A lot of the facts of the case have an impact upon the result of the case. So in this case, it matters a lot when he was brought in the United States, and it matters when his parents became citizen and other little details.
Okay. So one thing we found when we were looking at it is right now, they became citizens before he was 18, but the laws changed, you found, in 2000. So
yes, the news are saying that all his parents and his sisters are all U.S. citizens, and as far as the law is right now, of course, as a child, you cannot apply for citizenship. But if the parents of a child become citizens before the child turns 18, if the child has a green card and they also live with his or her parents, they also become citizens. And this is called in the immigration law citizenship by derivation. So they basically automatically become citizens in that case.
Okay. And I know some of the articles are saying that he, if he had done it before he was 21, but it could be that the law changed, and that's why you need to talk to an immigration attorney, right?
That's correct. And I didn't check to see what the law was. The current law was adopted in the year 2000, and the current law says that you have to be under 18 to become citizen through your parents when they become citizens.
Okay. And that citizenship by derivation, they automatically become a citizen?
Yes, they do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so he didn't, what we know is that he didn't get citizenship by derivation or acquisition, but how can he not know that he's not a U.S. citizen?
I know that is confusing, actually. I don't know. I guess I could think that maybe the parents never told him.
But what would he have? How could he be here then?
Well, most probably he had a green card that would allow him to work here, to have a social security number, and he just never thought about it. So that's what my guess is.
And would his parents have been the ones to apply for the green card then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, when he was a child. Somehow they all got a green card.
Okay. Is there a way to check if you're a U.S. citizen?
Actually, there is a way to check. So you can apply for your U.S. passport and see if you're approved. Or actually, you can also submit a FOIA request that is based on the Freedom of Information Act. And you can send that request to the immigration agency, to USCIS, and ask them to tell you what your status is.
Okay, well, what about anchor babies?
Hello, everyone.
We always hear about anchor babies, and he has 4 daughters, so why can't he stay here with them?
An anchor baby is not really a way to be allowed to stay in the United States, unlike what some people think. There is more criteria a person must meet to include, which include, for example, the person is involved in formal removal procedures.
Which he is, because there's a judge who signed a deportation order, right?
Yes. He has had a continuous physical presence for 10 years or more years in the United States.
Which we think he
which
has.
he has. He has not been convicted of certain criminal offenses.
Which, unfortunately, he has.
He has. He's in jail for fraud. And their removal would result in exceptional and extremely unusual hardship to a citizen relative, including a child. So since he was convicted of certain crimes, I don't know exactly what he was convicted of, but and we know that he was there for fraud, and his wife is able to care for his children, they would most probably not be able to receive that waiver. So probably he's, in the end, going to be deported.
So what about his wife? Because she's a U.S. citizen, as far as we know. Could he have gotten citizenship through her?
I mean, he could have, but I believe that he already had a green card.
Okay.
So you don't need to be sponsored to get a green card when you are already a green card holder. So basically, the only thing that he could have done is just to basically apply for naturalization by filing the form N-400, which is the application to become a naturalized citizen.
And then would he become one?
He would have, depend on when he received his sentencing in the criminal allegations against him.
So if he had been approved to become a citizen, but he hadn't yet become one, it might have stopped because of his criminal convictions.
If he was convicted during the time that he was waiting for his naturalization, he would have probably been denied the
Oh.
naturalization. But let's say he had the citizenship before being convicted, then he wouldn't be in deportation right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing you talked about that in a video before.
Yes.
A way
I
to
did.
protect yourself
Exactly.
is don't commit a crime while you have a green card.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, we hope you don't commit crimes at all. But...
Exactly.
So, do you think he's going to be deported?
This time it's not yet 100% sure because he still has 30 days to appeal this immigration judge order. However, the rate of appeals are really low in immigration court.
Of appeals, right?
The success, yes,
Yeah.
the success rate of appeals is very low in immigration court right now, and depending on the court, it can be less than 5%.
I think you've told me. What have you told me about Atlanta's? Do you know Atlanta's?
It's one of the lowest approval rates in the country. I didn't check lately, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's somewhere at around 5%.
Okay.
And although I'm happy to say that I had a really high, over 90% rate of approval in the appeals that I have sent. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm happy about that.
So is there anything else he can do?
He can still file a motion to stay removal. That also goes through the immigration court right now because he's in deportation. So everything that he can do is use only the immigration court's procedures right now. So he can file, his attorneys can file a motion to stay removal, and that means that the court, he's going to ask the court to actually let him stay while he's working with his attorneys on this waiver that we were talking about, and wait for the result of the appeal that they presumably sent on his behalf.
So any other advice you would have for him or someone in that situation?
As usual, my advice is if you have a green card with no conditions, don't delay to apply for naturalization. Get your citizenship. Of course, don't break the law. It's very important. And always consult with an immigration lawyer. If you can also check to see if that attorney is a member of the American Immigration Lawyer Association, it's even better. So I think that's all I have for today. And I'm glad you guys are watching. Thank you so much for watching my videos, liking my videos, sharing them. That will help everybody else to see them. And thank you again, and see you tomorrow.